Watch what happens as this glass mirror shatters. That active destruction is exactly how a text written over 4 centuries ago predicts your future. It outlines your physical aging, your deepest regrets, and ultimately what you will leave behind. The warning comes directly from this document, specifically William Shakespeare's Sonnet 2, published here in 1609. Look closely at the man making this argument. He is looking right at you and knows that right now you take your youth for granted. When you are young, your present circumstances feel permanent. The health, the energy, and the physical appearance you have today seem like they will simply persist on their own without any effort. Assuming things will automatically work out leaves you completely unprepared for time's inevitable theft. By failing to look ahead, you walk right into the exact trap he is warning you about. This block of text shows the sonnet's opening lines. Notice the exact data point he highlights: 40 winters. Shakespeare sets a strict timeline, measuring out the specific moment when time begins attacking your physical appearance. As these lines cut across the screen, they mirror the military strategy described in the poem. Time doesn't gently fade your features, it besieges your face and digs deep trenches into your brow like an invading army preparing for a long war. We tend to think of aging as a passive, natural process. The text aggressively rejects that comfort. It treats time as a hostile entity, actively trying to tear you down. By opening the poem this way, Shakespeare forces you out of your current complacency. He demands you face a definite reality where your physical value has been dismantled. Moving into the next section, the imagery shifts. Youthful beauty is compared to a rich, impressive piece of clothing, a garment that demands admiration and respect when you wear it today. But fabric frays, threads snap. Eventually, that same impressive garment becomes threadbare, losing the value it currently commands. This sets up the unavoidable interrogation. When you are old, and someone looks at your worn condition and asks where all your bright beauty went, how will you respond? This is a demand for personal accountability. It asks what you actually accomplished with the raw materials you were handed at birth. If your only answer is that your youth simply vanished, you failed the test. The tragedy of aging is not getting old. The tragedy is consuming something immensely valuable without preserving any of it. This graphic shows a clear divide in the poem's structure. The top half isolates the problem, and the bottom presents a logical solution. For a 17th century audience, the answer was reproduction, creating a continuous loop against fading youth. You take your vitality and pass it forward. By transferring the asset to a new host, it survives the original owner. Beauty is not erased, it is reborn. Your physical decline is offset by the rise of your successor. This completely reframes the timeline of a human life. It takes an inevitable physical loss and converts it into a calculated long-term investment. The active destruction of time is bypassed. You achieve a practical, human version of immortality. If we look past the literal biology of having children, we hit the true emotional core of the text. The core desire is reflection. It is the deep need to see your own efforts and the best parts of your younger self living on in something external. In the 1600s, that legacy was almost exclusively tied to bloodlines. Today, we have a much wider array of tools to ensure our survival. That reflection can be your life's work. It can be the ideas you champion, or the tangible, lasting impact you have on the people around you. The sonnet remains relevant because the human problem is exactly the same. We still face a strict deadline, and we still desperately need to build something that outlasts our own presence. Aging is merely the deadline. Wasting the time you have before that deadline arrives is the actual enemy. Legacy is the definitive answer to time's theft. It is the proof that you preserved the value you were given. Stop looking at your reflection and seeing the person you are right now. Start looking at the person you are becoming. Identify the specific parts of yourself that will survive when the present moment is gone. Literature endures because it acts as a permanent mirror. It forces us to confront our own human stakes long after the author's 40 winters have passed.